What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Let's talk. We're gonna talk a little bit about the Grammys. So, I looked at the Grammys last night, and you know what I thought about as soon as the Grammys came on? I was thinking, wow, here we are with another Grammy Sunday having to deal with a monumental death. And what I mean by monumental death is someone of great notoriety, because I'm not going to say great importance, because we're all important. And when you have someone pass away in your family, whether they were famous or not, it's so, I don't mean it like that, but I mean, you know, we had Grammy Sunday where we had to deal with the passing of Whitney Houston a few years ago, and now we had Kobe Bryant, and I'm going to speak more on that later on today. But I was wondering, as everybody was wondering, what are they going to do? How are they going to acknowledge Kobe Bryant? And Alicia Keys came out, and the first thing she said that struck me was, we're in the house that Kobe built. Because the Grammys took place in the Staples Center where Kobe Bryant played basketball his whole career. The opening tribute, I thought, well, let me rewind. Lizzo opened the show, and I thought her opening was on point. She started off with the I'm crying, and she said, we're dedicating this to Kobe. She said the whole show is dedicated to Kobe, and then her first line, I'm crying because I love you. I thought that was so on point and so accurate, and I wonder if that had always been her opening song, or if she added that for Kobe. I'm wondering, but she did that, and then she went into Truth Hurts, and I thought it was a great performance. Lizzo never disappoints me when she performs. I know other people kind of go back and forth with Lizzo. You may not like her style, you may not like the fact that, you know, she puts her body on display. I mean, you may not like all of those things, but one thing that with a straight face you can't say is that she does not perform. I believe she gonna always give you a great performance. I loved the ballerinas. I love the fact that her dancers are always all shapes and sizes and confident, and they get on that stage and they do the damn thing. She gave us a little flute. You know, so I thought Lizzo opening the show was great. I thought it was a great opening to the show. Then we had the Kobe Bryant moment, and I'm reading my notes. I'm sorry, y'all. I wrote Kobe. Okay, I don't know, but anyway, I thought that bringing Boys to Men out to do It's So Hard to Say Goodbye. Because at first I was thinking, because you know, we're so used to seeing Boys to Men perfectly tailored, right? And what I've noticed over the last few years with Boys to Men is they are giving you more and more, we just going to be comfortable, and less we're going to be perfectly coiffed. I went to see Boys to Men a few years ago, and they looked just like they looked last night on that stage when they first came out. And I said, well, you know, this was all last minute. Maybe they just flew in from Vegas and they're just getting there because, you know, they have that, do they still have that residency? I think they do still have their weekend shows in Vegas. I don't think they have like all week long, but I think they still do their weekend shows at the Venetian. And I was like, well, maybe they just flew in from Vegas because they were in jeans and, you know, but it was a moment. That song always takes me out. It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday. One, because I always think of Coolie High, obviously, with Coach Cheese dying, and that's just a moment. But then my brother actually sang that at a funeral for a friend of ours when we were younger. He, you know, was in high school when he died, and my brother actually sang It's So Hard to Say Goodbye at his funeral. So it always takes me out. So it was a moment for me. I thought that Alicia Keys handled it well. I feel like her affect, her voice, her speaking, I felt like it was a moment, and I feel like it was handled very well. So bravo to the Grammys for kind of putting something together in the last minute, but it was appreciative and it was accurate, and I was cool with that. But then we saw Boyz II Men came in later on and they were perfectly coiffed. So I said maybe they just didn't bring an extra change of clothes. They didn't want to come out there twice in the same outfit because that was for Tyler, the Creator's performance. So then I said, well, maybe that's what it was. I don't know. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. I'm just telling you what I wrote on my notes, okay? Then we saw Blake and Gwen Stefani. Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani, you know, they a couple now. They've been a couple for a couple of years now. And we saw them perform their new song, which I actually liked. I saw the video drop on YouTube a few days ago and I watched it. I actually like the song. I think it's cute. You know, I always like to see couples that can work together. I just hope that in 10 years from now, honey, they still together. That's all I got to say about that. I don't know, child. Then we had this serenade thing from Alicia Keys where she sat at the piano and she sort of sang a song but changed the lyrics, and she was talking about the climate in the country with, you know, Trump and stuff like that, and she was talking about the different performers and stuff. It was cute. It was cute. It was what it was. Let me say this to y'all. They say that the ratings for the Grammys are down. And I can attribute that to a couple of things, but the first thing I'm going to attribute it to is Alicia Keys as the host. No disrespect. No disrespect. Who owe Alicia Keys a favor? Why do we have Alicia Keys and why do we have her 2 years in a row? I'm not understanding. What happened to the days of electrifying hosts? Remember when Donna Ross used to host the American Music Awards, honey, and she would change outfits at every commercial break and come out there fabulous? Remember when Lionel Richie hosted the American Music Awards, and you know that's when he used to come out there with his little catchphrases? I mean, these are things that made you remember people who hosted these shows. These hosts nowadays, all they want to do is come out, do a little roast, talk about the audience, and then that's pretty much it. Like, give me something else. Anyway, Billy Porter came out and introduced the Jonas Brothers. Now, we did not see Billy Porter in his full glory when he came out there to introduce the Jonas Brothers, but as per usual, he shut the damn red carpet down. Honey, he had this blue and silver ensemble with the hat, with the thingies, and the hat opened up, honey, like a curtain, and it would open up so he would, if he felt that you were worthy of him speaking to him, to speak to him, honey, and he would close it back when he didn't want to be bothered. I said, I know that's right. He go to his Instagram. He dropped the designer in his Instagram. I ain't got the entertain. I'm not doing all that. Lizzo won an award for something. I think she won 2 Grammys last night. Tyler, the Creator, performed Earthquake with Boyz II Men and Charlie Wilson. And like I said, that was when Boyz II Men had their red suits on when they were performing with Charlie Wilson. Let me say this. Okay. Every year, I watch the Grammys. And I love music. And I always have loved music. I love different genres. I will give anything a chance. And if you saw my music collection, it is quite eclectic. I listen to a little bit of this and a little bit of that. That Tyler, the Creator performance, it's just a moment I can't get back. That's just like 5 minutes of my life I can't get back. Because I really tried to watch it. Because I don't know a lot about Tyler, the Creator. I don't know a lot about his music. And I was like, let me hear. Yeah, it didn't really do it for me. One thing I will agree with, though, is he did win a Grammy. But in his, when he, was speaking to the press afterwards, he said that he's a little disappointed. Because he said that he feels like every time there's an urban artist, I'm saying urban, he didn't say urban, but whenever there's an urban artist that does something a little outside the norm, gender bending, or something that's just a little outside of the box, they throw them in the hip-hop category. And he was saying how his album wasn't necessarily meant to be hip-hop. Again, I'm paraphrasing. And I agree. That song, that Earthquake song that he performed, I would not put that in a hip hop category. I might have put that in. Do they have like a club house category? That, what do they call it? EDMI kind of category. That's where I would put that song. Now I don't know what the whole album sounded like, but that Earthquake song was It was quite interesting. I have a criticism down here in my notes. Alicia Keys, can you stop calling everybody your family? Everybody ain't your brother. Everybody ain't your sister. I know you on this whole Mother Earth thing. I know that you all getting in, aligned with your chakras and shit. But everybody ain't your family. You're not related. You don't know these people like that. I'm gonna need it. It was irritating my soul. Okay, now the Prince tribute. I think people are getting confused. Y'all know how the Grammys will do a 2-hour all-star tribute to someone. They did it for Elton John last year. They did it for Aretha Franklin. And they do this like 2 hour. I want to say they did it for Motown. Y'all know what I'm talking about? That is what Prince is getting. When I was saying the Morris Day and the Time and Sheila E. and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and they're bringing the revolution back, and all of these artists, Earth, Wind, and Fire and all that, that is going to be in the spring. It's going to be in a couple. I want to say they said March, where there's going to be a full 2-hour tribute to Prince with all of those people. And I think they confused people because they did a Prince tribute and then they're doing a full Prince tribute in 2 months. But if you listen to the introduction, they said that. They said this is just a little taste. This is a little tune-up for the full performance that they're going to have, a full show they're going to have in 2 weeks. They said that. I'm going to need people to work on their listening skills because I heard some people complaining saying, where was Morris Day? Where was this? Where was that? Now, Sheila E. was on stage. Usher did a Prince tribute. He started with Lil Red Corvette. Now, Lil Red Corvette is my favorite Prince song. So, in my mind, I was thinking, don't you fuck this up. But I enjoyed it. It was okay. Sheila E. is my girl crush. I need y'all to know that. If Sheila E. is my girl crush. When I tell y'all I love, since the very first time I saw her in the Glamorous Life pulling up in that damn Mercedes with that damn mink stall, baby. Was it a BMW or Mercedes? Anyway, and that mink stall, child. And then Crush Groove with her non-acting self, but I ain't care. Anyway. Then he went into When Doves Cry, and then they ended with Kiss. And they had a performance. They had a dancer on the pole doing a lot of dancing, and it was very nice. I thought it was cute. I was trying to see if it was my tie, but I don't think it was my tie. I think it was just a dancer. But it was nice. I thought it was a good performance. Here's the thing. The thing about people like Prince, Michael Jackson, Aretha Franklin, Elton John, there are certain people that it doesn't matter what you do. People are going to not be happy. Their diehards are not going to be happy. There's going to always be a criticism. People are going to always say, well, it could have been this and it could have been that. I thought Usher did a decent job. I don't think it was horrible. It didn't make me want to turn it off. I thought he did a decent job with the songs. He gave us a little a la Prince outfit. Like it was sort of a Prince flavor, but it was a little updated, honey. He had the heels on. I thought he did a good job. He gave us a good split. I thought he did decent. Anyway, what's her name? Cabello, whatever. She did this beautiful song. It was a tribute to her dad. It was a very touching moment. Her dad started crying, and it was a very touching moment. I thought it was sweet, cool. Tanya Tucker had a moment. If you guys do not know who Tanya Tucker is, or you are not familiar with Tanya Tucker's story, go and Google her. Tanya Tucker is a country artist who rose to fame very early in her career. I want to say she was in her teens. She went through drug addiction, alcoholism, bad marriages, abusive marriages. She went through, you name it, honey. If you want to check the Lifetime movie checklist, she went through it all. And so I don't follow country like that, so I didn't realize she had sort of had a comeback album this year, but she was nominated for a Grammy. I don't think she won that particular Grammy, but I saw her nominated for a Grammy, and she did perform. And when you saw her, you could definitely see that she's had a rough life, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I'm just saying you could tell it's been rough for her. She definitely has. So that was a cool performance. If you know her story, it was cool to see her on that stage. Ariana Grande performed. It was alright. I mean, it was Ariana Grande. Billie Eilish performed. Let me say this. I don't get the phenomenon that is Billie Eilish, but I respect her music. I respect what her and her brother have done. I mean, she definitely took all them Grammys last night, honey. She took every damn category. It was Billie, child. So that was that. But she did her little performance. Aerosmith and Run DMC. First of all, you can clearly tell that there was no rehearsal that took place. Now, I don't know if that was on Aerosmith's side or if that was on Run DMC's side. But clearly, they just got on stage and said, y'all remember how we used to do this 20 years ago? All right, let's do that again. It was cool to see. If you understood the moment, if you understood how significant and how impactful that moment in time was with Run DMC, Aerosmith, the crossover, and what it did for hip hop, then it was a nice moment to see. Run looked like he losing a little weight, y'all. Run, he looks like he's lost a little weight. It was great to see Run DMC on stage together. I would love to have seen the DJ be Jam Master Jay's son, because he DJs as well. Now I don't know if they tried to get him and he was booked and busy, or they didn't ask. I don't know, not my business, but I just would have liked to have seen it. Aerosmith came out and they started with Living on the Edge. I love Aerosmith. I'm an Aerosmith fan. My boy, y'all know who I'm talking about, the lead singer for Aerosmith. I think he is absolutely hilarious. I love him. So yeah, that was a moment. Then I saw that Flavor Flav was in the audience, and I was thinking to myself, who let Flavor Flav in? But then I found out later why Flavor Flav was there. I'll get to that in a second. Nas X did this whole Old Town Road thing where, of course, he was with Billy Ray Cyrus, but he started off doing duets with all the people who had sort of kind of remixed Old Town Road. He was with K-pop. He was with some little boy. Yeah, I'm sure y'all are going to tell me in the comments who he is. I don't know if he did like a YouTube thing that went viral or what, but the whole crowd erupted when they saw that little boy singing with Lil Nas X. Then there was something else, somebody else that he performed with. Then, of course, he did, him and Billy Ray Cyrus did their thing. Then Nas came out, and Nas did like a little rap to it, and it was cool. It was a great moment. I enjoyed it. I like that little catchy song. It can be annoying, but I like it. I think it's cool. And hopefully that's the last time we have to ever see it performed. But moving on. Then they announced the Lifetime Achievement Awards were given out. And so we have Chicago, Roberta Flack, Isaac Hayes, John Preen, Iggy Pop, Public Enemy, and Sister Rosetta Thorpe. And that is why Public Enemy was there. Well, that is why I saw Flavor Flav. I don't know if I saw Chuck D or not. I need to ask him on Twitter, because he follows me on Twitter. And he retweets me. Maybe because I stalk him a little bit, but that's not the point. But I'm going to ask him, because I don't know if he was there or not. But we did see Flavor Flav. So shouts out to Public Enemy. Y'all know how much I love me some Public Enemy. Shouts out to Public Enemy for getting that Lifetime Achievement Award. Do they even have a Grammy? That's interesting, right? Does Public Enemy... I should have Googled that. Does Public Enemy even have a Grammy? They did the Nipsey Hussle tribute. Let me say this, and this is in no way, shape, or form disrespectful. I feel like it was the exact same tribute they did on the BET Awards 5 months ago. But it was cool. We had Kirk Franklin, we had John Legend, we had DJ Khaled, which Sharon Osbourne can't say his name. She called him DJ Khaled. What she called him? DJ Khaled. But it was a nice performance. But again, I felt like I've seen it. And Nipsey Hussle did win a Grammy, and his family accepted the Grammy. We had a performance by Rosalia. Don't know her. It was alright. Then we had a little moment with Smokey Robinson and Lil Big Town. Only reason why I mention it here is because I like Smokey Robinson. I like Lil Big Town. I thought that was a cute little thing they did up there where they kind of sang they sang like 2 of his songs and before they gave out the Songwriter of the Year award. I thought that was cool. Alicia Keys performed her new song, Underdog. I like the words. Do I think it's going to be a hit, a top 10 hit? Probably not. But I do like the words. I do like what she was saying in the song. Bonnie Raitt gave out an award. Then we had a performance by Gary Clark Jr., who I love. And let me tell y'all a funny story. This is running long, but I'm almost done. The Redskins, who y'all know I'm a huge fan of the Washington Redskins, they had a player by the name of Gary Clark. So and I was in love with Gary Clark, okay? Let me just be clear. When I met Gary Clark, I think I about fell out. Anyway. And the first time I heard Gary Clark Jr.'s name in the musical realm, I was like, Gary Clark making music now? It took me a moment. Then I was like, well, is that Gary Clark's son? So it took me a minute, but I love Gary Clark Jr. I love his music, and that performance he gave with the Roots, I thought it was really beautiful. For the in memorandum moment, they brought out Trombone Shorty. If you guys are from New Orleans, everybody knows who Trombone Shorty is. I remember seeing Trombone Shorty when I was at New Orleans Essence Fest. Well, I mean Essence. In New Orleans for Essence Fest, and like the crowd blows, they go up when Trombone Shorty comes out. And so they did like this whole second line thing for the in memorandum, and then when it was over, they had the spotlight on Kobe Bryant's jerseys, and I thought that was very tastefully done and very respectful in that moment. Billie Eilish won the rest of the damn awards. I wrote her name down, but she won the rest of the damn awards that they announced for the rest of the night. Like, she won the last 4 awards, I feel like. Then they did a tribute to Ken Ehrlich, who has been the executive producer for the Grammys for 5,000 years. And he said that rather than give a speech, he didn't want, this was his last Grammys. And rather than give a speech, what he wanted to do was he wanted a performance. So they did this whole tribute where they took the song from Fame, I Sing the Body Electric, and they had all these different people performing. The most memorable for me was Cyndi Lauper, because I love her. That's how I feel about it. So that was pretty much the Grammys, y'all. Overall, it was an alright show. I didn't expect a lot, because I don't know who a lot of these people are anymore. I've accepted the fact that I'm just old and out of touch. I don't know who a lot of these people are. Like, I had heard the name Billie Eilish, but I didn't know her song. And when I listened to it, I was like, oh. Tyler, the Creator, the same thing. I mean, I know his music. I mean, I know who he is, but I don't know his music. I know the name. You know what I mean? But overall, congratulations to all the winners. I love to see Lizzo won. Michelle Obama won herself a Grammy last night for Best Spoken Word, because she actually did the audiobook. She did her own audiobook for becoming Michelle Obama. So I thought it was a okay show. But again, when the bar is here, you don't really, you know what I'm saying? You're really not disappointed. I didn't have high expectations that this was going to be a great Grammys. Anyway, this has run a lot longer than I really wanted it to. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.